Are you too poor to invest? The simple answer is if your net worth is under £30,000, then yes, you probably are too poor to invest. Most poor people probably won't even know what investing is. They'll be so preoccupied with their life, with raising a family, with raising children, that they will not have any idea what investing is. They would never have heard of it. And if you suggest to them that they should invest their money, they'll look at you like you've just dribbled down their shirt. So why would you be too poor to invest? Well, let's say that you've got a net worth of, let's say, £20,000. Now, obviously, a good portion of that net worth you're going to want to put into daily expenses like food and rent or anything like that, mortgage payments, anything like that. And then after that, whatever's left over, you're going to want to put into savings. Now, most people's savings to spendings ratio is usually something like 80% of their salary is spent within the year, and maybe 20% of it, if they're lucky, is put into savings. Now, a lot of this depends on what your life situation is going to be like. So if you're planning on raising a family, if you are raising a family, then you're going to have so many outgoing expenses that you're not going to be able to even think about investing. And that's why, if you're interested in investing and you try and talk to a normie about investing, they're just going to look at you like they don't know what you're talking about. And this really is the crux of why most people don't get into investing. They've got too much going on in their life in other areas to care about investing. And to be honest, I would agree with the idea that if your net worth is under 20,000, you shouldn't be investing. Because let's say you only put 10,000 into investments. That's not going to be enough to make any decent returns. The problem with investing is it's a logarithmic growth. So if you've ever seen one of those logarithmic charts where it's like really flat at the left-hand side and then it skyrockets upwards on the right-hand side, that is really what's going on with investing. If you start out right on the left-hand side of the graph where all the poor people are, then you are not going to be able to get anything. You're going to make 50 pence from your investments because it's all done on percentages. Whereas if you've got a fat chunk of capital to throw at the bank or an investment account or whatever, if you've got a fat chunk of capital, say like £30,000, and you chuck that into an investment, all of a sudden those 5% average returns somehow now become very attractive, because now it's no longer 5% of 50 pence, it's 5% of £30,000. And this is where you can start to make big bank on investing. And so that is why I would say if you have a net worth of under £20,000, you shouldn't even bother investing. You should go back to Wetherspoons and drink your pint. Are you too degenerate to invest? Now, a big part of how you can get started with investing and how you can get started with bringing back a ton of money is, first of all, to save. You have to save your money. And this is where I would say probably about 90 to 95% of people get it wrong. And that's why only nerds and very rich people tend to get into the stock market or any kind of investment market for that matter. Most normal people, especially in poorer parts of the Western world, but you see it everywhere really. You can see it in rich cities actually as well with the metropolitan types. Most people, they might want to go drinking on a Friday night or a Saturday night, and they might want to end up in this lovely situation that you see before you in Manchester city centre. Now, these people probably won't have many savings because they've just gone down to the pub and they've bought 10 beers and they've ended up in the middle of the road. Now, of course, a lot of it comes down to whether this lifestyle is for you or not. If this kind of lifestyle makes you happy, then of course, maybe you should just forget about investing altogether and just go back to Wetherspoons and drink yourself silly, because money is only really a facilitator to your life. It's not the be all and end all. I think this is where a lot of autistic people can get really hung up on this, is that they get so caught up in an autistic special interest like investing that they forget the point of money, which is to support your life and to be your companion in making the kind of life that you want. So ultimately, the question comes down to what kind of life do you want to live? Do you want to go to Spoons every Friday night and get absolutely smashed? Or do you want to stack some hella bread away and make some big fortunes? If you decide to do investing and you decide that you're going to quit your Wetherspoons Friday night drinking session, then you're in good company, because all of these people that you see on your screen here, they all go out and they piss their money away every weekend. So you end up getting to see bigger returns on the stock market because everyone else is busy pissing it all away. So to conclude, are you too much of a degenerate to invest? If you're a big fan of drinking culture, if you're a big fan of reality television, if you regularly see yourself in situations like this photo here, then yes, you are too degenerate to invest, and you should just carry on giving me all your money because you go out drinking every weekend, leaving the market wide open for me to insert my fat, big bank account into your world. Are you too dumb to invest? Now, this may sound fairly offensive, but the truth of the matter is a lot of people out there are genuinely just too dumb to invest into the stock market or any kind of market for that matter. The problem tends to be the Dunning-Kruger effect. People who have just started out tend to think that they know absolutely everything and that they're going to throw all of their money, all of their investing money on some risky stock moves, and then they end up losing everything and they go and cry back home. Now, of course, I must disclose here that I'm also very new to the stock game and to the investing game. However, what I have done is I've approached it from an extremely conservative point of view. What I've done is I've put 15,000 into a fixed 1-year bond with a bank. And the good news about that is that it's not volatile to any kind of stock market or market movements whatsoever. With a fixed bond account, if you can get it within an ISA in the UK, then you can get that tax free. But if you just have a fixed bond account and you've got, let's say, under £1,000 that you're earning in investment returns from that every year, then you'll be under the tax threshold for that anyway, so you won't have to worry about paying tax on that. But what you genuinely want to do when you're investing is you want what I call the cake model. So the bottom should be, a big, let's say 60 to 70% chunk of your investments should be extremely safe investments. Stuff that you probably wouldn't even call investments to begin with because they're so boring. You should start out with bonds, very safe bonds, like I said, from the bank. That are basically just an account. They're barely even a bond. They're just an account agreement that you have with the bank. So you do those. And then another one that I've done is 5,000 into a Barclays mixed portfolio, one of their ready-made portfolios. Now you may think that that's rather retarded. Why can't I just come up with my portfolio on my own? Well, the simple answer is I'm a beginner to this. And I'm self-aware enough to realise that I'm a beginner to this, so I'm not going to piss about and try and put all of my money into stuff that I don't know about. What I can do with the Barclays ready-made investments, and other banks and brokerages will probably offer similar things, is they've got, as it says, a ready-made portfolio, something that's already been made for you. And, people might say, oh, well, it's not going to give as high returns as my special portfolio that I made all on my own with my own autism. Well, the thing I'd say about that is maybe, but the investing game is all about risk management. And this is where people who are dumb always get it wrong, and they always lose all of their money because they get too cocky and too arrogant, and they think that they know absolutely everything about the game and that they can throw everything onto something and it'll be fine. It won't be fine. You'll probably lose all of it and you'll end up in a skip behind B&Q.